Hey all, I thought I'd do a video today on the kick-ass battery box. I've been getting a few questions on some of my older videos that I did when I had the Blue Ranger in relation to it, and I just thought I'd do a bit more of a in-depth sort of, well, not super in-depth, but a bit of a closer look at it. The main questions I've been getting are about wiring it up, so we're going to go through that, and I'll show you how I've got it wired, which is exactly how they tell you to do it on their website, on the Australian Direct website. There's great YouTube videos on there about these products and stuff. Now this is a slightly older one, so I've had it probably 2-3 years now. So the DC charger on top, I think they're putting red arc ones on there now, but you can check that out on their website and I'll put the link below. Overall, their products that I bought it as a pack. I paid about a bit over $2,000. I got a 61 litre low profile fridge, so it fits under the tonneau cover, solar panel, watt meter, food sealer, all the wiring, you know, fridge cover, the battery box, pretty much everything you need to look after yourself fridge wise and dual battery wise. So we'll go through that, and I'll do a bit of how I've wired it up. We'll get the voltmeter on there, which I haven't done before, and we'll go through that. All right, so we'll obviously start at the front because it needs to connect to your main battery. So that is my positive. I know I've been through this before a couple of times, but I thought I'd just cover it again. That's the positive for the dual battery wiring. The fuse holder is just tucked in under here. It's just there. Okay. It's a 80 amp fuse in there, and then the negative is obviously off here. Now it just runs down now to an Anderson plug. I've showed you this before. There it is there. Goes to an Anderson plug, and then the rest of the cabling just runs down through here along the brake lines. So along the brake lines here, I know I've done this before, so I'm just glossing over it real quick. Up here, up this way, in through the gap between the factory tub liner and the tub itself, and then we come out here. Yeah, as I said, I'm just going through this quickly, and we come out here. So this is it. All this is all part of the kit. So all this is a direct connection through an 80 amp fuse, basically through an Anderson plug to the battery. So there's nothing in between. I haven't wired anything up. This is just running straight to the battery. Okay. So I'm doing a little separate video so I can set things up so you can see them better. So I'm going to stop this. I'll put the voltmeter in there. I'll show you what it is off, and then I'll turn her on, and you can see that it's getting around, you know, the 14 volts. All right. Righto. So as I said, I've just connected my very fancy eBay voltmeter, which costs about 30 bucks. A little stand. It's the better one. I had one of those little ones you buy from J-Car before, and it was crap, but this one's actually really good. Does ohms and all that sort of stuff. Okay, so she's directly connected to the wiring, which is, as I said, directly connected to the battery. So at the moment we're getting 12.72. Okay, you can see that. So we'll go around and crank her up. As always, I've got my offsider helping me out. The only thing I'm just a little bit, I think she's getting a bit tubby, so we might have to bloody do something about that, because I'm a lazy bugger. So car's a bit of a mess, guys, and I apologise for that. It's been so bloody hot up here. We've had, God, I don't know, it's coming up to probably 2.5-3 weeks now where it hasn't been under sort of 32, but a few 40 plus days. It's been crazy. Anyway, we'll crank her up and we'll go and have a look at the back. I love that snorkel burble. So what do we got? Righto. So there we go. We're getting 14.35, 34, etc. with the cars on, delivered straight through the wiring, through the fuse to here. Now there is one thing I don't know about this car, because it's obviously I bought it second hand. I don't know if they have, I'll turn it around. I don't know if they've turned on or off smart charge, or, you know, dual battery mode, or enabled dual battery mode and all that sort of stuff. I covered this in some of my older videos, but as you know, you get the square, as I said, you get the square box off the negative post. It generally means you've got a smart alternator. So you have to go to the dealer if you're looking at, towing or want to charge batteries and stuff, and they'll disable that or enable dual battery mode or whatever, which means it delivers a constant 14 point roughly 4 volts. So I don't know if that's been done on this car, obviously. So yeah, so I can't tell you if that's on or off. I know with my Blue Ranger I never got it turned on, or I never got dual battery mode enabled, and this still worked fine. Alright, so, and you can see that's dialing down now, just starting to dial down now as the voltage starts to drop. Right, so we'll go through the box quickly. Now, there are videos on my channel sort of about this already, but I was only just first started making them. They're quite short. As I said in the beginning, got the box, got the battery with it. It's 120 amp hour AGM battery. Now, we'll go through this. So we got 12 volt, Merit plug, 12 volt, 2 USBs, okay? Push voltage meter. I've seen all this before. And then a projected DC-DC charger. Now, mentioned on my other videos, if you have dual battery mode, if you don't have dual battery mode, or you still have a smart alternator, blah, 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 this fixes that for you. This still delivers 14.4 volts. Now, the most important thing that I've been getting questions on is the wiring. Now, this battery box is not connected to anything except that Anderson plug through here. Now, this is one of the things I like about these. They're idiot proof. It says alternator input. That's obviously where you plug your dual battery in. It can also take unregulated solar. It can also take regulated solar, but if you're taking regulated solar, you've got to plug it into one of these. And then they've got the 2 Anderson plugs. Run your fridge, run your whatever. Righto. So, we'll pop the lid. I've already popped the lid off. So we're going to turn it over and we'll have a look. Now, this is how it came. Alright, so we'll get a sit so I can sort of hang on to it. Bloody hell, come on. Righto, here we go. Now, you can see here, this is exactly how it was wired up. The only thing I did was connect the positive and the negative lead to the battery. Okay? So I haven't taken that off, so we'll just I'm just trying to sit it so we can see inside there, and I can use 2 hands maybe. Righto, so we'll go in there and have a look. So this is what I wanted to show you. This is the actual ignition lead. Now, people have been asking me, have you plugged it into the ignition? And obviously I haven't, because there's the ignition lead. And then there's this other little pinky one, which says EXT lead on it, which I'm assuming is extension lead. I don't know what that is there for. So I wanted to show you this too. This is on a couple of other videos, but you can see it's all fairly thick cable, good relays, good quality stuff. Now, as I said, this is exactly how it came from the factory. Okay, so I haven't changed any wiring. This is exactly how it was wired up. It's a bit hard for me to do one-handed, but there's the voltmeter on the battery itself. And you can see that the battery's reading at 13.05 volts. Okay, there's 605. Alright, positive, negative. And if you look at the front of the battery, they give you a little guide. 12.7 is 100%. So this battery is at 100%. It's obviously connected when I drive, so it's charging all the time. So I'll put it all back together and we'll bang it back on the connection over there. And we will... how am I going to do this actually? I might leave the top off so you can see it's getting delivered, and then we'll put the box on and I'll show you the top of it with the charger and with the DC-DC charger and how that works. So as I said, nothing's been changed. This battery box is how you see it. This is how I've been using it ever since I bought it. It's only been connected to the battery. So we'll yeah, let me work this out. We'll bang it together and I'll just show you the battery getting the power delivered, just so you can see that for yourselves. And then I'll put the lid back on the box and we'll go from there. All right. Okay, so it's probably going to take a second to get delivered, but I've plugged this now back in, so it's connected to the alternator input slot, the Anderson plug. So I just got my charger on, my voltmeter on there. 13.5 is what the battery's sitting at. Okay, so I'm going to put the lid on, but I'll show you that now. But we'll go crank her up. Now this might just take a little while to get the power through, but we'll crank her up and we'll see what's going on. Alrighty. I'm just going to sit here and watch. Not much we can do about that. So you can see there at the DC-DC is registering that it does have an AGM connected, and shit, that's really hard to see. And that is, the alternator is running. We'll show you that a little bit more. So the charging light's still not on that. Here we go, she's starting to climb up now. Alright, made a liar out of me. Okay, it's hard to see. Sorry, shit. It's hard to see, but looks like the charging LED is on. Oh, there we go, here we go, here we go. There you go. 14.4243. So it is running. This is the car running. Battery box connected. Alright, so it is getting the power delivered. Now that is with no ignition cable in or anything like that, as you've seen. Alright, I'll put the lid on and I'll put it back together and I'll show you it running, and then I'll turn it off and we'll show you how it shuts down. Alright, yep, so constant, she's running fine. We're getting plenty of charge. Okay. Okay, so I'll put the cover back on. Hopefully it makes it a bit easier to see the lights. You can see there the AGM light is flashing. And none of the green indicator lights are on. Alright, so let's start the car. So it's all back together now. Obviously, it's all back together. I've obviously wired it all back up. Just put the lid back on, as you saw, and just plugged it back into the battery. Okay, so we'll crank her up, and then we'll go on it. It's so bloody hot out here. Get this one knocked over, so I can go and have a drink. Okay, now you can see there, the alternator light is solid. So it's picked up that it's getting a charge from the alternator, and then in a little while we should start to see the charging light go on. Hopefully, yes. It did take a few seconds before. Trying to get you in there so you can see it. Now I can also confirm that when you plug solar panels into this, obviously that solar light does light. It does register that it's got a solar panel on it, which is good. There you go. There you go. Okay, she's charging. And to check, we'll do the push button voltage again. Yeah, she's coming in at 14.2. That might be a bit hard for you to see because it's LED. Alright. Now, the most important other thing is that when you turn it off, obviously, you don't want it to still be drawing power. Now that's what that DC charger does. It'll still charge for a little bit. It'll still be taking charge from the battery for a little while. I think it's about 60 seconds. Don't quote me on that though, I'd have to RTFM to double check that. But I have a sticky pick in there. So as you can see there, it's still saying charging. Okay, so it is a bit hard for me to see if I'm focused there, guys, sorry. There we go. So it is saying charging. And a DC charger, this little box on top, will detect that the car's off, and then it will stop. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's about 60 seconds, so I don't want you hanging around for 60 seconds watching me watch this, because that's not entertaining YouTubing vision at all. I was going to say television, but it's not really television, is it? Entertainment par excellence. So while we're waiting for that to drop, we'll take off this stupid focus thing, because I've done it again, haven't I? Okay, well, hopefully I got you back. I'm probably going to I might do a quick one on this. This is my attempt to build a shed by myself. Now, I don't have a prefabrication factory, so obviously I gave up about not even a quarter of the way through. I just built a little shed. These guys are Lockyer Trailers. These guys are great to deal with, by the way. If you're in this area and you want a trailer, go see these guys. Shout out to them. Anyway, yeah, so as you can see, she's pretty dry. Oh, there's all me waste products. Yeah, if any of you guys aren't sure what the go is, you don't really live sort of in a country area, we're completely on tank. So I don't have a connection to town water. I don't even have trickle town water out here. We're about 15 minutes or 10 minutes out of town, but we're on the opposite side of a major highway. So we don't even get Domino's delivered, which is a bit strange considering there's one in town, and for a big fella like me, that's a concern. Yeah, I'll spin this around. So obviously that's our water tank. And this is like a biocycle, if you want to call it that, or something like that. It's about an 8-9 foot tank in the ground here. And all the house wastewater comes into here. Little pump, always running. There's different chambers inside here, hence all the different lids. I only had the bloke out yesterday servicing it. Everything from the house, and I mean everything, comes into this tank. It gets filtered out by, it goes through different tanks and gets bacteria, breaks it all down, and then basically it comes out as water that you could drink. But yeah, we're not going to be doing that anytime soon because probably shouldn't do that. But talking to the blokes who do it, they say basically it's drinking water, and it comes out the old purple hose to the sprinkler, and the sprinkler just runs. It all runs independently. Anyway, we'll go back and we'll that's a nice shot on my double chin. We'll go back and see what's going on with this thing. Little interlude there. Loving the country life, I've got to say. I'm on 2.5 acres, so just big enough. And that's a vacant block next to me, so. And are we in the business? Let's have a look. Looks like it. Yep. Going a bit closer there. Alternator light still flashing. Charging light is off. Alrighty. Bloody hell. Bloody hell, there's that many buttons on these phones. I just accidentally pushed a button and it locked the screen and shut the video off. I don't know what I'm doing. Anyway. Yeah, I'm going to get inside because it's too bloody hot out here. Keep talking to you blokes. And ladies, if you're watching. Yeah, so that's basically it. Followed the directions, bought the gear, did my research first, of course. Good price. I mean, didn't really have the money at the time to buy an angle, or even a Waco for that matter. I probably could have, but I was looking at something where I could buy a whole package where I could go to one place, get everything that you needed, and they had decent instructions. And these guys, the owner of the place, he just is constantly making YouTube videos about his products. They're informative, they're good, all that sort of stuff. I mean, I'm not, please, no, I've already said this before, I'm not affiliated with anybody, I'm not looking for any crap sponsorship or any of that sort of stuff. I just do this because no one else was doing it, especially when the new style of the Rangers came out. Anyway, yeah, so I bought it all off them, shipped it a couple of days from Brizzy, back when I was down in New South Wales. Yeah, so it's all working well. The package came as you saw. Connection to the battery, to an Anderson plug, big long 8mm BNS all the way down to the back. It's long enough so you can actually get caravan kits from them as well. It comes with all of what you've just seen from me, plus another 8mm BNS that runs to your, to your trailer if you don't have it. Yeah, battery box, already with a DC charger. Now that wasn't cheap. The battery boxes run about $600, and about 400, and the batteries are about 300 odd. So half of the bit over $2,000 that I paid was mostly battery and battery box, and you can see why. I mean, that thing. Okay, now here's another thing. I wasn't going away for a while. and I kept forgetting to put it on charge all the time, which is one of the reasons why I installed it in the back of the ute as well. It died. Now, all the research that I did said, oh no, AGM batteries, you know, once you're 12, they're dead, that's it, they're dead, they're dead. Now, I have probably, not saying that I haven't affected the longevity of the battery, but I know it didn't affect its capacity to store energy or to provide energy. Did a bit of research. I have plus with the pack I also got I bought it separately from them, a battery charger, 8-stage battery charger or whatever. Does everything, you know, wet cell, AGM, glass, matte, bloody gel, all that sort of stuff. Looked it up on YouTube. If you have a battery with charge, even if it's a wet cell battery, like a 12-volt battery or something with a little bit of charge on it, because these chargers these days, the battery chargers, obviously, you got to plug it in, you put the connections on the battery, and if there's no voltage in the battery, or it can't register that it's voltage in the battery, charger won't turn on. Now, did a bit of YouTube and thinking, oh crap, I'm out $300, I've got to buy a new battery, which I couldn't afford at the time. Bit of YouTube, bit of research. If you put a battery in between the charger and the battery you want to charge, as long as that first battery that you put on there, I used an old car battery that still had about 10-11 volts in it. Use an old car battery, hook it up in series, so direct, positive to positive, negative to negative, then hook the wet cell or the battery with charge up to the charger, okay? The charger turns on because it's getting charge, and then it will deliver the charge through the first battery into the second one, and it worked for me. It may not work for, I don't know, this is what I tried and it worked. Did the YouTube stuff, this is what guys were saying on their channels, and it worked for me. It charged the AGM back up. Now I had to give it overnight, obviously, but as soon as that happened, I turned the charger off, put the wet cell battery out of the way, and then directly connected the AGM to the charger. Recognised it, charged it, does all that desulfate bloody rubbish, you know, goes through all the stages, and worked fine, worked perfectly. And ever since then, well, I had a camper trailer, as you saw in my other videos. I had that camper trailer, but we're bit tight on the old finances, so I had to sell it. But I obviously took the battery out of it, and that's one of the reasons why I put it in the back of the ute, so I could keep it charged, because I kept forgetting to put it on when it was down in the shed, in the front of the toolbox of that camper trailer. I had to go down there, you know, open the toolbox, take the battery out, put the charger on, blah blah, run extension cord. I kept forgetting to do it, and you're supposed to do it like once a month. You're supposed to charge those batteries once a month if they're not being used, you know, that's what they recommend. And so here, it hasn't been a problem. Everything's been running fine. Every time I plug the fridge in, it runs, and as you saw, it's getting everything it needs. So I'm just leaving it at the back of the ute for now. Well, not for now, that's where it's going to live. And I mentioned before to you guys that you know, if I do eventually set up some kind of trailer or get another trailer, I'm just going to run a little 8mm BNS from the battery inside the back of the ute down to the tow ball, and then connect up through there, Anderson plug, etc. Anyway, so I hope that's answered some of your questions. Some of the questions were on older videos of mine, so hopefully most of those guys have subscribed, so I will post it up, and that will hopefully lead those people that have been asking questions to this one. But yeah, as you can see, exactly as described on the Australian Direct video. Couldn't fault it, good installation video, and that's exactly what I did, and it all works. Nothing else is connected to the car except the positive terminal, the battery, and the negative screw on the side of the vehicle, negative point, earth point. Yeah, all right, as always, thanks for watching. Notice I've got a couple of new subscribers, which I'm always thankful for. Don't have many, yeah, so what, I just do this for fun mainly. And I believe I've got a couple of Yanks on the channel now too, because they're starting to sell the Rangers over in America, so you never know, we could be headed for international stardom. Somehow I need to think, somehow I think I should be a bit sexier first though, so I don't know. But yeah, all right, look, awesome. Thanks for watching, guys. I really appreciate your comments. Try and answer as quickly as possible. And if you do decide to subscribe, thank you very much. I'm on a pension, so I'm not really looking for any kind of bloody, you know, sponsorship or money or anything. I'm just happy to help. So yeah, all right, that's it. And I'm going to put the car back together, and we'll get back inside in the aircon. All right, cheers, guys. And girls, if you're watching, have a great day, and have a good Christmas. Drive safe, be bloody careful on the roads, eh? Be real careful when you're out there driving on the roads. You know, you don't want to bloody get in any trouble. Stick this, I'm not trying to be Mr. Safety, but you know, just look, you're not rushing, just stick to the speed limit, watch your tiredness, all that sort of stuff. I've done a lot of long distance driving before, so I don't do it as much as I used to, but just please, you know, stay safe, look after the fam, You know, they'd rather you get there rather than you be on time or early, you know what I mean? Just chill, enjoy the ride, stick to the speed limit. If you're tired, pull over a quick nap. That's what the missus and I do. We'll have a quick 10, 15, 20 minutes, half hour, however long, get back on, go for a bit longer, and back your driving up too. We found that once we were first Great Ocean road trip I did a few years ago, I got, oh Christ, I got the flu like you wouldn't believe. Unbelievable, knocked me right out. We were about halfway or a quarter of the way into the drive, and it was just, we got to go home. And we were living in Sydney at the time. So the missus drove in one hit from the Great Ocean Road to Sydney. It was like 970 k's or something. She did in one hit, and I was just a gibbering mess in the bloody passenger seat, sweating, freezing, coughing up, farting about. Still smoking though, of course. And yeah, so you know, if your missus doesn't mind getting behind the wheel, make sure you know you trade it off. You have a break, stop at a coffee shop, have a brew. You know, just stay safe out there. Have a good Christmas and a good New Year. All right, all the best. See you guys.